Have you ever watched a loved one move a little differently, perhaps hesitating at the top of the stairs, gripping onto furniture for balance, or struggling with tasks that once came effortlessly? Maybe their once confident stride has turned into a slow shuffle, or they fumble with buttons, utensils, or keys. At first, these changes may seem minor, just small inconveniences of aging. But what if they're actually early warning signs of something much bigger? Police car light. The truth is, many of us brush off these subtle shifts as just getting older, but in reality, they can be the first signs of neurological decline, cognitive impairment, or even early-stage dementia. The brain controls every movement, from the way we walk to how we grip a coffee cup. When these everyday actions become noticeably more difficult, it may be a silent alarm that something deeper is happening beneath the surface. Backhand index pointing right. Why should you watch this video until the end? Because recognizing these warning signs early can make all the difference. You'll discover the small, overlooked signs of movement and coordination decline that may indicate serious health issues. We'll explore why sensory changes, like difficulty judging distances or reduced sense of smell, are not just normal aging. You'll learn about the shocking link between grip strength and brain health, and what it could mean if someone suddenly struggles with once simple tasks. We'll also reveal how poor sleep and social withdrawal are often the first clues of cognitive decline, long before memory loss sets in. Light bulb. Most importantly, you'll gain practical, compassionate strategies to help your loved ones maintain their independence, dignity, and quality of life for as long as possible. Stay with us until the end. This information could help you spot the warning signs early and take action before it's too late. Let's dive in. Rock it! If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you enjoy the content, please comment 1 below. If it doesn't resonate with you, leave a 0. Your feedback is crucial as it helps me create better videos that align with your interests. Now, let's get started. 1. Subtle yet alarming changes in posture and coordination. Have you ever watched a loved one walk across the room and felt a pang of concern as they moved more hesitantly than before? Maybe their steps have become smaller, almost as if they're uncertain of their footing, or they shuffle instead of lifting their feet. You might notice them gripping onto furniture for support, taking longer to rise from a chair, or hesitating at the top of a staircase as if gauging whether they can trust their own body to carry them safely downward. Then there are the smaller, more insidious changes, the ones that don't immediately demand attention but, in hindsight, might have been warning signs all along. Perhaps they struggle to button a favorite sweater, their fingers fumbling in frustration. Writing a birthday card, something they once did with ease, now results in shaky, uneven letters. Tying shoelaces becomes an unexpected battle, and once effortless tasks like using utensils, handling money, or gripping a coffee cup feel strangely foreign. They may try to hide these struggles, brushing them off with a nervous laugh, or they might become frustrated, snapping in irritation when their hands refuse to cooperate. These subtle yet deeply significant changes in coordination and posture can be easy to overlook, especially when they happen gradually. But when they persist, they may be telling a much bigger story, one that should not be ignored. Why does this matter? Every single movement we make, from the smallest flick of a wrist to the simple act of placing one foot in front of the other, is controlled by the brain. It sends lightning-fast signals through the nervous system, instructing muscles on when to contract, when to relax, and how to execute even the most routine motions. But when those signals become garbled, delayed, or inconsistent, the results can manifest as slowed movement, poor coordination, and a noticeable struggle with everyday tasks. These symptoms are often dismissed as just getting older, and while aging naturally brings about some physical changes, persistent balance issues or fine motor difficulties can signal something more serious. Neurological disorders such as Parkinson's disease, mild cognitive impairment, or even early-stage dementia often present themselves subtly, whispering their presence long before they become impossible to ignore. A slowing gait, tremors, or an increasing difficulty in controlling small muscle movements may indicate changes occurring beneath the surface. changes that deserve attention before they become more pronounced and limiting. A practical and loving approach. The most important thing you can do when you notice these signs is to act with compassion, patience, and awareness. Encouraging movement is key. Gentle exercises, such as yoga and Tai Chi, can work wonders in maintaining balance, strengthening muscles, and restoring a sense of control over the body. These mindful movements not only improve coordination but also promote flexibility and relaxation, helping to reduce the anxiety that often accompanies physical decline. However, if these struggles continue or worsen, don't hesitate to seek medical advice. A doctor or physical therapist can conduct simple tests to assess balance, coordination, and muscle function, providing valuable insight into what might be causing these changes. Early intervention can lead to better management, whether through physical therapy, lifestyle adjustments, or medical treatment, ultimately preserving independence and improving quality of life. Remember, the goal is not just to observe these signs, but to respond to them with care, knowledge, and action. When addressed early, these challenges can be managed, allowing your loved one to move through life with greater ease, dignity, and confidence. 2. The silent thief, sensory decline and its hidden dangers. Dementia is often thought of as a disease of memory loss, but its reach extends far beyond forgotten names and misplaced keys. It quietly alters the way a person experiences the world, distorting their senses and shifting their perception of reality in ways that are both subtle and alarming. Imagine waking up one day and finding that the floor beneath you seems farther away than it should be, or that a simple step outside feels disorienting because the curb appears higher or lower than expected. These depth perception issues can turn a once confident walker into someone who hesitates before moving, fearful of misjudging a step and taking a painful fall. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. But the changes don't stop there. Perhaps you notice that your loved one no longer reacts to certain scents, the comforting aroma of their morning coffee, the familiar fragrance of a favorite perfume, or even the warning scent of smoke from the kitchen. A diminished sense of smell may seem like a minor inconvenience, but it can be an early indicator of neurological decline, with studies linking it to the development of Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. Hearing can also become strangely distorted. A person who once enjoyed lively conversations may now struggle in noisy environments, reacting with frustration or withdrawing from social situations altogether. They might complain that certain sounds are unbearably loud or, conversely, fail to hear something entirely. These sensory disruptions can be disorienting, isolating, and deeply frustrating, leading to increased anxiety and even changes in mood and behavior. Why does this matter? Sensory changes are not just quirks of aging. They can be some of the earliest red flags of cognitive decline. Research has shown a strong link between sensory loss, particularly in vision, hearing, and smell, and an increased risk of dementia. According to a Spanish study, between 9% and 70% of individuals over the age of 65 living in nursing homes have some form of dementia. Many of these individuals experienced subtle sensory shifts before receiving a formal diagnosis. The reason for this connection lies in how the brain processes information. Sensory input, what we see, hear, smell, and even feel, is an essential part of how we navigate and interpret the world. When dementia begins to take hold, it doesn't just attack memory, it also disrupts the brain's ability to process and respond to sensory signals. The result: a person may become increasingly accident-prone, misjudging distances, struggling with coordination, or reacting inappropriately to their surroundings. A practical and compassionate approach. If you notice a loved one becoming more clumsy, missing curbs, struggling with stairs, or frequently bumping into objects, don't brush it off as simple aging. Similarly, if they complain about heightened sensitivity to noise or find it harder to recognize familiar scents, take it as a sign to dig deeper. The first step is to encourage them to get a thorough eye and hearing examination. Vision problems, such as cataracts or macular degeneration, can compound the effects of dementia, making the world even more confusing and dangerous. Hearing loss, too, has been linked to a faster cognitive decline, as the brain works harder to process sounds, leaving fewer resources for memory and comprehension. Addressing these issues early, whether through glasses, hearing aids, or therapy, can dramatically improve quality of life and help maintain independence for as long as possible. Beyond medical interventions, creating a safe and supportive environment is key. Bright lighting, contrasting colors in the home to improve depth perception, and reducing background noise during conversations can all help minimize confusion. Most importantly, patience and understanding go a long way. Sensory decline can be deeply unsettling, but with awareness and proactive care, we can help our loved ones navigate these changes with dignity and confidence. 3. The hidden warning in muscle weakness, especially grip strength. Have you ever watched a loved one struggle to twist the lid off a jar or fumble with their keys, their hands trembling with unexpected weakness? Maybe they've begun asking for help carrying grocery bags that they once lifted with ease, or they avoid tasks that require fine motor control, like buttoning a shirt, cutting food, or turning doorknobs. At first glance, it might seem like just another inconvenience of aging. After all, muscles naturally weaken over time. But what if this decline in strength isn't just about getting older? What if it's a silent alarm signaling something far more concerning? Muscle weakness, particularly in the hands, is more than just a physical limitation. It may be an early indicator of cognitive decline. Research has shown a striking link between grip strength and brain health, with studies suggesting that those with weaker grips are at a significantly higher risk of developing dementia. This connection is not coincidental. The brain is the command center for all muscular movement, sending precise signals to activate, contract, and control muscles throughout the body. When those signals begin to falter, muscles, especially those responsible for fine motor tasks, may start to weaken prematurely. Why does this matter? A declining grip may seem trivial, but it speaks volumes about what's happening internally. Weakness in the hands and forearms can indicate underlying neurological changes, particularly in the regions of the brain responsible for movement, coordination, and executive function. A study published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found that individuals with weaker grip strength were more likely to experience memory problems, cognitive decline, and even a shorter lifespan. The reasoning behind this is twofold. First, grip strength relies on the integrity of both the nervous and muscular systems, meaning that when the brain struggles to communicate with the muscles, it's often a reflection of broader neurological deterioration. Second, a weaker grip is associated with reduced overall mobility, increased frailty, and a decline in daily independence, all of which have been linked to a faster progression of cognitive impairment. Moreover, muscle weakness doesn't just affect grip. It can make everyday life significantly more challenging. A person experiencing this decline may find themselves avoiding physical tasks altogether, leading to decreased activity levels, social withdrawal, and a cycle of physical and mental decline. In some cases, they may even experience more frequent falls, struggle to steady themselves when standing, or develop a general sense of fatigue that makes movement feel overwhelming. A practical and compassionate approach. If you notice a loved one struggling with grip strength, whether it's difficulty holding onto objects, an increased tendency to drop things, or a noticeable change in their ability to perform routine tasks, it's essential to take action. Encourage simple yet effective exercises to maintain hand and forearm strength. Activities like squeezing a stress ball, using therapy putty, or practicing with light hand weights can work wonders in preserving muscle function. Finger resistance bands, hand grippers, and even tasks like wringing out a wet cloth or opening and closing clothespins can help maintain dexterity. However, if the weakness appears suddenly or worsens over time, it's crucial to seek medical evaluation. A doctor can assess whether the issue is related to an underlying neurological condition, poor circulation, or another health concern that requires intervention. Early detection can be life-changing, offering opportunities for treatment, therapy, and lifestyle adjustments that can slow cognitive decline and preserve quality of life. Beyond physical exercises, maintaining an active lifestyle is key. Encouraging movement, whether through gentle strength training, Tai Chi, or even daily walks, can help sustain both muscular and neurological health. Additionally, a well-balanced diet rich in protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and antioxidants can support brain function and muscle maintenance. Most importantly, approach these changes with understanding and patience. A weakening grip may seem like a small inconvenience, but for those experiencing it, it can feel like an unsettling loss of control. By addressing the issue proactively, you're not just helping them strengthen their muscles. You're offering them a sense of empowerment, independence, and dignity in the face of change. 4. The silent warning of sleep disorders. Why restless nights may signal cognitive decline. Have you ever noticed a loved one struggling to fall asleep, tossing and turning long after the lights go out? Perhaps they wake up multiple times throughout the night, wandering the house in confusion or staring at the ceiling in frustration. Maybe they wake up feeling exhausted, unable to shake off the fog of fatigue no matter how long they stay in bed. What was once a peaceful night's rest has turned into a restless battle, leaving them drained, irritable, and struggling to get through the day. While occasional sleep disruptions happen to everyone, frequent and persistent sleep disturbances, especially when they represent a significant change in previous sleep patterns, may be more than just an inconvenience. They could be an early warning sign of cognitive decline. Research has increasingly linked poor sleep to an increased risk of dementia, particularly Alzheimer's disease. In fact, sleep disturbances are often one of the earliest signs that something is amiss in the brain, long before noticeable memory problems appear. Why does this matter? The connection between sleep and brain health is profound. Sleep isn't just a time for rest, it's when the brain performs some of its most critical housekeeping tasks. During deep sleep, the brain clears out toxic waste products, including beta amyloid, a protein associated with Alzheimer's disease. When sleep is disrupted, this natural cleaning process is impaired, allowing these harmful proteins to accumulate, potentially accelerating cognitive decline. A groundbreaking study from the University of California found a strong correlation between poor sleep quality and increased beta amyloid buildup. Participants who experienced frequent nighttime awakenings or restless sleep showed significantly higher levels of these toxic proteins in their brains. This means that fragmented sleep isn't just making someone feel tired. It may be physically altering their brain in ways that contribute to dementia. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Furthermore, people with sleep disorders such as insomnia, sleep apnea, or REM sleep behavior disorder, which causes individuals to physically act out their dreams, are at a higher risk of developing neurodegenerative conditions. Frequent nightmares, hallucinations during sleep, or vivid, violent dreams can also be early indicators that the brain is struggling to regulate its normal sleep-wake cycle. A practical and compassionate approach. If a loved one begins experiencing unusual sleep problems, especially if they have never struggled with sleep before, it's important to take action. Sleep disturbances can contribute to memory issues, confusion, and mood changes, all of which can worsen cognitive decline if left unaddressed. Start by encouraging good sleep hygiene. Heavy checkmark limits screen time before bed. Blue light from phones, tablets, and TVs can interfere with the production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Encourage reading a book or listening to calming music instead. Heavy checkmark create a relaxing bedtime routine. A warm bath, gentle stretching, or light meditation can help signal to the body that it's time to wind down. Heavy checkmark avoid heavy meals, caffeine, and alcohol in the evening. These can disrupt sleep and make it harder to stay asleep throughout the night. Heavy checkmarks stick to a consistent sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends, helps regulate the body's internal clock. Heavy checkmark ensure a comfortable sleep environment. A cool, dark, and quiet room can make a significant difference in sleep quality. However, if sleep disturbances persist or worsen, it's essential to consult a healthcare provider. A doctor may recommend a sleep study to rule out underlying conditions like sleep apnea, which not only disrupts sleep but also deprives the brain of oxygen, another risk factor for cognitive impairment. Most importantly, don't dismiss sleep issues as a normal part of aging. Poor sleep is not just a nuisance, it is a serious risk factor for dementia and other health conditions. Addressing sleep disturbances early can help protect brain function, improve mood, and enhance overall well-being. By prioritizing quality sleep, we're not just improving daily life, we're taking a crucial step in preserving long-term cognitive health. 5. When the spark fades, social withdrawal and apathy as early warning signs. Have you ever noticed a once outgoing friend or family member retreating from life, skipping social gatherings, avoiding phone calls, or neglecting hobbies they once cherished? Maybe they used to love chatting with neighbors, attending book club meetings, or playing cards with friends, but now they seem distant, uninterested, or even indifferent. They might shrug off invitations with vague excuses, sit in silence rather than participate in conversations, or spend hours staring out the window, seemingly lost in their own world. This isn't just introversion or temporary exhaustion. It could be apathy, a deep-seated loss of motivation or interest in life's activities. Unlike depression, which often brings sadness and emotional distress, apathy is marked by emotional numbness, a lack of energy to engage, and an overall disconnect from one's surroundings. It's as if the light in their eyes has dimmed, and the world around them no longer holds the same meaning. Why does this matter? Apathy is one of the most overlooked yet significant early warning signs of cognitive decline. A study published in Neuropsychiatric Disease and Treatment found that apathy in older adults, especially when it appears suddenly, can be an early precursor to dementia. This is because the frontal lobe, which governs motivation, decision-making, and emotional engagement, is often affected in the early stages of neurodegenerative diseases. Social withdrawal isn't just about missing a few events, it can accelerate cognitive decline. Isolation reduces mental stimulation, weakens emotional connections, and increases stress, all of which contribute to faster brain deterioration. In fact, loneliness and lack of engagement have been linked to a 50% increased risk of dementia. A practical and compassionate approach. If you notice a loved one withdrawing from life, don't ignore it. Start with gentle encouragement. Heavy check mark, engage them in small ways. A quick phone call, a short walk together, or a simple activity like cooking a meal can help rebuild their connection to the world. Heavy check mark, reignite their interests. If they used to love gardening, music, or puzzles, find ways to reintroduce those activities in a way that feels effortless and enjoyable. Heavy check mark, create a routine. Structure can help reignite motivation, making social interactions feel like a natural part of the day. Heavy check mark, consult a doctor. If the withdrawal is persistent, a medical evaluation is essential to rule out dementia, depression, or other underlying conditions. Social engagement isn't just about keeping busy, it's about keeping the mind alive. Connection, laughter, and purpose are some of the strongest defenses against cognitive decline. 6. The silent struggle, communication difficulties, and the decline of language skills. Have you ever spoken to a loved one and noticed them hesitating, searching for the right word but never quite finding it? Maybe they call everyday objects that thing, or the thing over there, instead of using specific names. Conversations that once flowed effortlessly may now feel fragmented, with long pauses, repeated phrases, or thoughts left unfinished. At first, it may seem like simple forgetfulness. After all, everyone has occasional tip-of-the-tongue moments. But when word-finding difficulties become persistent or worsen over time, they could indicate something far more serious. Why does this matter? Language is deeply intertwined with brain function. The ability to find words, follow conversations, and express thoughts clearly relies on multiple areas of the brain working in harmony. When these regions start to deteriorate, whether due to dementia, mild cognitive impairment, or other neurological conditions, communication suffers. A Cambridge University study found that worsening word-finding difficulties are often an early sign of dementia. Over time, what starts as minor word mix-ups can escalate into full-blown communication struggles, where understanding and expressing thoughts become increasingly difficult. Signs to watch for include heavy checkmark frequent word substitutions, e.g., calling a refrigerator the cold thing. Heavy checkmark losing track of conversations, especially in groups. Heavy checkmark struggling to follow storylines in books, movies, or discussions. Heavy checkmark repeating questions or stories multiple times in the same conversation. A practical and compassionate approach. If you notice these struggles in a loved one, heavy checkmark, be patient. Give them time to find their words rather than rushing them. Heavy checkmark, use simple, clear sentences. Complicated wording can add frustration. Heavy checkmark, encourage writing or reading aloud. This can help strengthen language processing skills. Heavy checkmark, seek medical advice. Early intervention can help slow decline and provide coping strategies. Communication is the bridge to connection. When that bridge begins to crumble, relationships and independence are at risk. The earlier these changes are addressed, the better the chance of preserving meaningful conversations and relationships. 7. The most telling sign, unusual memory loss. Forgetfulness is a natural part of aging, but when memory problems go beyond the occasional misplaced keys or forgotten name, they may signal something far more concerning. At first, it may seem harmless. A loved one forgets appointments or asks the same question multiple times without realizing it. Maybe they can't recall a recent conversation or struggle to retrace their steps after getting lost in a familiar place. Over time, the lapses become more frequent and disorienting, eroding confidence and leading to frustration, embarrassment, and even denial. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. When is memory loss a red flag? Normal aging includes occasional forgetfulness, but dementia-related memory loss. Heavy checkmark disrupts daily life. Forgetting where you placed your glasses is normal. Forgetting how to use them is not. Heavy checkmark involves recent memory loss. They may clearly recall childhood events, but struggle to remember what they had for breakfast. Heavy checkmark causes confusion. They may forget names of close family members or get lost in once familiar surroundings. Heavy checkmark leads to personality changes. Irritability, paranoia, or sudden shifts in mood can accompany cognitive decline. A practical and compassionate approach. Heavy checkmark, use memory aids. Calendars, sticky notes, and reminders can help maintain independence. Heavy checkmark, encourage brain exercises. Puzzles, storytelling, and memory games can strengthen recall. Heavy checkmark, seek medical evaluation. If memory loss worsens, early diagnosis can provide better treatment options and planning. Memory loss is often the most feared symptom of dementia, but recognizing it early allows for better care, preparation, and support. With patience, understanding, and proactive steps, we can help our loved ones navigate these challenges with dignity and grace. 7. The most telling sign, unusual memory loss. We all have moments of forgetfulness, misplacing keys, forgetting a name, or momentarily losing track of what we were saying. But dementia-related memory loss is far more disruptive and often manifests in bizarre, unsettling ways. It's not just about forgetting where the keys are, it's about placing everyday objects in completely illogical places. A phone in the fridge, the TV remote in a utensil drawer, or even shoes inside the oven. These misplaced items aren't just lost. They've been put in places that make no sense, and when the person can't recall doing it, confusion sets in. Accusations of theft are another common sign. Imagine the frustration of losing an object and truly believing someone else must have taken it. A person with Alzheimer's may repeatedly insist that a caregiver, family member, or even a stranger has stolen their missing wallet or jewelry, because, in their mind, they have no memory of where they last placed it. These accusations can strain relationships, creating tension and emotional distress for both the individual and their loved ones. A practical and compassionate approach. Heavy checkmark, create designated spaces for frequently lost items, keys, phone, wallet, and encourage their use. Heavy checkmark, use memory aids like labeled baskets, wall hooks, or digital trackers to help locate misplaced belongings. Heavy check mark. Stay patient and understanding. If a loved one becomes upset about a missing object, calmly reassure them and help search for it rather than arguing. Heavy check mark. Seek medical evaluation if memory lapses become frequent or increasingly unusual. Early diagnosis can lead to better intervention strategies. When memory loss starts affecting daily life in such unpredictable ways, it's a sign that professional support and proactive planning are necessary. 8. A difficult but important topic: incontinence and dementia. Urinary or bowel incontinence is an issue few people want to discuss, yet it becomes a common and distressing symptom in moderate to advanced dementia. For a loved one who has spent a lifetime maintaining their dignity, suddenly losing control over such basic functions can be deeply embarrassing, frustrating, and isolating. This problem doesn't arise because of physical weakness alone. It often stems from cognitive impairment. A person with dementia may heavy check mark forget where the restroom is, even in their own home. Heavy check mark lose the ability to recognize the sensation of needing to go. Heavy check mark feel too confused, disoriented, or anxious to reach the bathroom in time. Heavy check mark have difficulty removing clothing quickly enough due to struggles with motor function. For caregivers and family members, this can be an emotionally and physically challenging issue to manage, as frequent accidents may lead to discomfort, hygiene concerns, and an increased risk of infections. A practical and compassionate approach. Heavy check mark maintain a consistent bathroom routine. Encourage regular restroom visits, even if they don't feel the urge to go. Heavy check mark provide easy access. Keep pathways clear, use nightlights, and install grab bars to make getting to the bathroom simpler and safer. Heavy check mark use assistive products. Absorbent underwear and mattress protectors can help preserve dignity and cleanliness. Heavy check mark consult a healthcare provider. There may be medications, exercises, or treatments that can help manage incontinence. Above all, approach this issue with empathy. A person struggling with incontinence isn't doing it on purpose. They are navigating a world that is becoming increasingly difficult to understand. 9. Repetitive questioning, a subtle but frustrating sign of cognitive decline. Have you ever answered the same question multiple times in a short period, only to have your loved one ask it again moments later? At first, it might seem like simple forgetfulness or distraction. But when repetitive questioning becomes persistent, where someone keeps asking the same thing despite receiving a clear answer, it can be an early sign of dementia-related memory impairment. This occurs because the brain is struggling to store and retrieve new information. The person genuinely does not remember asking the question or hearing the answer. While it may be frustrating for caregivers, the individual is not doing it intentionally. Their short-term memory is simply failing them. Why does this matter? A study in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease found that repetitive questioning is often one of the first noticeable symptoms of dementia. It's a warning sign that short-term memory processing is breaking down, which may later escalate into difficulties with recognizing faces, remembering recent events, or following conversations. A practical and compassionate approach. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Heavy check mark, stay calm and patient. Reassure them gently rather than expressing frustration. Heavy check mark, use written reminders. A whiteboard or sticky notes with common answers, e.g., dinner is at 6 p.m. or today is Tuesday, can help. Heavy check mark, redirect attention. Engaging in a different activity or conversation may ease repetitive behavior. Heavy check mark, seek medical advice. If repetitive questioning becomes persistent, a cognitive evaluation may be necessary. Frustrating as it may be, compassion and reassurance go a long way in helping a loved one feel secure when their mind is working against them. 10. When reality blurs, hallucinations and dementia. One of the most unsettling symptoms of dementia is hallucinations, where individuals see, hear, or feel things that aren't real. These vivid, often frightening experiences can cause distress, paranoia, and confusion, not just for the person experiencing them, but also for their loved ones who struggle to respond appropriately. Common hallucinations include heavy checkmark seeing non-existent people or objects. They may claim to see long-lost loved ones, unknown visitors, or even animals in the room. Heavy checkmark hearing unexplained sounds. Footsteps, door knocks, or voices calling their name are frequent auditory hallucinations. Heavy checkmark feeling imaginary touches. Some may report the sensation of someone touching or grabbing them when no one is there. As dementia progresses, hallucinations tend to become more frequent and distressing. Mayo Clinic research has found that they are especially common in Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's-related dementia, though they can appear in Alzheimer's and other cognitive disorders as well. A practical and compassionate approach. Heavy checkmark remain calm. Arguing or insisting that their hallucination isn't real can increase their fear and agitation. Heavy checkmark redirect attention. Shifting focus to another activity, listening to music, taking a short walk, or looking at old photographs, can help ground them in reality. Heavy checkmark check their environment. Poor lighting, shadows, or unfamiliar surroundings can sometimes contribute to visual misinterpretations. Heavy checkmark consult a doctor. Hallucinations may be treatable with medication adjustments or behavioral therapies. Hallucinations can be deeply frightening and confusing, but responding with patience and reassurance can help ease anxiety and provide comfort during these unsettling moments. Recognizing the signs and taking action. Dementia is a complex, progressive condition that affects every aspect of a person's life, from memory and communication to mobility and emotional well-being. While many of these signs may seem minor at first, they are often early indicators of a much larger cognitive decline. Light bulb early intervention is key. Recognizing these symptoms and seeking medical advice as soon as possible can help slow progression, manage symptoms, and improve quality of life. Sparkling heart above all, approach these changes with patience, understanding, and compassion. Dementia is not just about memory loss. It's about helping a loved one navigate a world that is slowly becoming unfamiliar to them. With the right support, they can continue to find comfort, joy, and dignity in their daily lives. Now that we've uncovered these subtle yet powerful signs of neurological and cognitive decline, what stood out to you the most? Were there any warning signs you hadn't considered before? Have you seen any of these changes in a loved one, or even yourself? Speech Balloon, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share one thing you've learned from this video and how you plan to apply it in real life. Whether it's being more observant of posture and coordination, encouraging better sleep habits, or promoting social engagement, your insights could help others who are going through the same concerns. White heavy checkmark if you found this video helpful. Don't forget to thumbs up like this video to support the channel. Loudspeaker, share it with your friends and family. This could be the information they need right now. Bell, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on how to live a healthier, more independent life as we age. Sparkling heart, remember, early awareness and action can make all the difference. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Rock it!